I'm Shelley. Sitting on my balcony, the city lights twinkling like a sea of stars, I'm reminded of the long journey that led me to this moment. The photo on my phone, with my family's smiling faces and my blurred, unacknowledged presence, is a powerful reminder of the past and the newfound strength I've discovered. It all started when I received that fateful text from my family. "We need space from you. Please don't reach out anymore at all." It was like a punch in the gut. I reread those cold, clinical words twice, and for a brief moment, the pain of being rejected by the people I'd always supported hit me hard. My family, in a sense, was a high society clan in our town. My parents, Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, were all about appearances. My father, a strict and status-conscious man, was a well-known lawyer in the community. He was always concerned with maintaining a perfect image and expected everyone in the family to fit into his mold. My mother, a socialite, was equally focused on social standing. She spent her days attending galas and charity events, and she was extremely sensitive to how the family was perceived. I have an older brother, Max, who followed in my father's footsteps and became a successful lawyer. He was always my father's favorite, and his achievements were constantly paraded in front of me. My younger sister, Lily, was a budding actress, and she too received a lot of attention and praise from my parents. For years, I had been the silent supporter of the family. I worked as a freelance graphic designer, creating beautiful and meaningful designs, but my work never seemed to meet my parents' standards. Every month, without complaint, I sent them money to cover various expenses. It was labeled for utilities, groceries, and even to top up their mortgage payments. They never asked nicely, it was always a demand, and I complied because I thought that's what family did. When that text came, something inside me snapped. Instead of begging or crying, I typed my reply with a steady hand. "Of course. I'll cancel my direct deposits first thing." And I hit send. The silence that followed was deafening. It was louder than any argument we'd ever had. By midnight, the family group chat, which was usually filled with requests, complaints, and last-minute needs, exploded. My aunt, who was always on my parents' side, had already helped them pack their things into her minivan, whispering that they'd be fine without me. But I knew better. They had built their comfortable lives on my quiet sacrifices. Without my financial support, they were about to face a freefall. I watched as one furious message after another lit up my phone. Their panic was palpable. Mom's sobs filled the line when she called. "How this makes us look," she wailed. Her voice shook, not with regret for forgetting me, but with panic that the world was starting to notice. She even got my name wrong, calling me Sally in her flustered state. "Your father didn't mean it. You're twisting this online. Just take it down." I kept my cool. I didn't twist anything. I wrote the truth. That's all. Her silence on the other end of the line was like a blade. The next day, by noon, the caption I had posted about my family situation had spread far beyond my circle. Friends left supportive comments, and my phone buzzed non-stop with messages of validation. People who actually saw me and recognized my worth were finally speaking up. But then came the backlash. Max sent me a text, "Take it down. You're humiliating us. Family issues stay private." I laughed bitterly. "So does gratitude. But you didn't keep that private." He didn't reply. For years, they had used the shield of family privacy to hide their neglect and insults. But my post had cracked that armor, and the world was getting a glimpse of the truth. That evening, I sat by my window, looking at the city lights and scrolling through the photo again. Their faces were glowing under the chandelier, glasses raised high in celebration, while I was just a blur at the edge, completely unmentioned. But now, my invisibility had turned into visibility. Their omission had become my spotlight, and for the first time, I was in control of my own story. By Monday, the caption had gained even more traction. An aunt called, her voice hushed but sharp. Shelley, sweetheart, why would you humiliate your parents like this? Everyone's talking. You know how hard they try. I pressed my forehead against the cool glass of the window and replied, they try for everyone else. Not me. She sighed, trying to make me shrink back into silence. Family matters should stay in the family. I almost laughed at that tired old line. Privacy had never fed me when I skipped meals to pay rent, never clapped for me at my art exhibitions, and never remembered my name in family toasts. Throughout the week, the situation escalated. Mom left a series of voicemails, a mix of guilt, tripping, and threats. Shelley, if you loved us, you'd take it down. This is tearing the family apart. You've made me look like a bad mother. Each message was just further confirmation that it was never about me, it was always about their image. On Thursday, Lily sent me a text. Congrats on being the drama queen again. You love attention, don't you? I typed slowly, carefully. No. I love respect. They gave you speeches. They gave me silence. She didn't reply. That evening, I walked past my parents' house. Through the curtains, I could see them pacing and arguing. Their voices were muffled but heated. For once, they weren't united. I pulled out my phone and took a photo of myself, standing in the glow of a streetlight, independent and unashamed. I posted it with a new caption, respect isn't a favor. It's a right. And when it's withheld, silence becomes a weapon. The likes and comments came pouring in, a flood of validation that was stronger than any family praise I'd ever received. As the weekend approached, I could feel the cracks in our family's perfect facade widening. Relatives who rarely spoke to me started sending quiet messages of support. Some offered cautious sympathy, while others stayed silent, which spoke volumes. Mom's calls shifted from sobbing to sharpness. Do you realize how selfish you sound? Your siblings are furious. You've humiliated us in front of everyone. But instead of being hurt, I felt stronger. I didn't humiliate you, I replied flatly. I just refused to carry your erasure quietly. By the 6th day, the tension became unbearable for them. Dad left a terse voicemail. Shelley, just come home. We'll talk about it at the table. Enough of this nonsense. The irony was overwhelming. He wanted me back at the same table where I had always been invisible, where every speech had skipped over me. But I wasn't going to rush back. Instead, I focused on my work. My boss, impressed by the strength in my words in the viral caption, offered me a new project lead. My colleagues congratulated me, and their respect was genuine. That evening, Mom sent a final text. Shelley, this is breaking us. Take it down, please. For your father. For me. I stared at the text for a long time. Then I typed back, it's not the caption that broke us. It's every year you pretended I wasn't worthy. She never replied. On Sunday, at church, neighbors approached my parents, asking about my post. My mom forced a smile that didn't reach her eyes, and Dad's jaw was tight. My siblings were seething. Max sent me a string of texts, accusing me of ruining Thanksgiving and thriving on drama. Lily chimed in, saying I could have just talked to them instead of embarrassing the family. But I didn't reply because they were angry that I had told the truth where people could hear it. That afternoon, I visited a downtown gallery. My own work was hanging in a corner, small and understated. A stranger paused in front of it and whispered, "This one feels honest." It was more rewarding than any family speech could ever be. In the evening, Dad sent another message. Shelley, if you want back in this family, you'll need to apologize. The word apologize sat bitter in my chest. I typed my reply slowly. I won't apologize for telling the truth. Respect isn't conditional. Either you see me or you don't, but I won't disappear again. There was no response, just the steady beat of my heart. Looking at the photo again, I realized it wasn't just a memory of being excluded. It was proof of my transformation. They had tried to erase me, but I had written myself back into the story. Thanksgiving had passed, but the echoes of my newfound voice lingered. My parents' house, once the center of a perfect family facade, was now under a cloud of whispers. My siblings were burdened with questions from friends and neighbors, and their perfect image was tarnished. And me? I walked lighter. My apartment was filled with the warmth of new beginnings, with my canvases and projects stacked neatly. I no longer craved a toast in my honor. I had learned that respect built on conditions isn't respect at all. One evening, I lit a candle, and the flame flickered across the photo that started it all. Their faces frozen in laughter, glasses raised, and my absence captured forever. It was both a scar and a victory. Then my phone buzzed with a message from Mom. "We never meant to hurt you." I stared at it for a long time. Whether they meant to or not didn't matter anymore. What mattered was that I had stopped waiting for their recognition. I set the phone aside and whispered to myself, "I see me, and that's enough." The city outside shimmered, endless and unbothered, and I stepped onto my balcony, feeling the wind carry away the weight of years I had carried alone. I had turned silence into speech, absence into presence, and erasure into a legacy, all through my own words.